So, I've seen The Batman a couple of times in theaters now, and I think it's one of the greatest superhero films of all time. I genuinely think it's a masterpiece in filmmaking, with a gripping mystery, fantastic characters, and an engaging world, packed full of Easter eggs. For film lovers, it's a great noir mystery that hooks you from start to finish. For comic fans, it offers the most faithful depiction of the Caped Crusader. Matt Reeves has created a film that's not only a love letter to Batman comics, but also pays respect to countless noir films before it. One of the best elements of the film is Paul Dano's Riddler, a Zodiac-inspired reinvention of the character that left me at the edge of my seat. Matt Reeves has reinvented a classic villain for contemporary times while still maintaining what makes him so special. With a villain this fantastic, it makes me wonder, who will be the antagonist of the next film, and how could Reeves possibly reinvent them for this noir-drenched world? At the end of The Batman, Riddler floods Gotham by blowing up the seawall. According to Batman's inner monologue, Gotham City has now been put under martial law, with the Coast Guard coming to enforce order in the city. But with Carmine Falcone dead, there's now a huge power vacuum within Gotham City, and the flood served to cut out certain sections of Gotham from the law. Criminals will now be fighting for control of this forsaken area of Gotham. It's pretty clear that the sequel will take influence from comics such as Batman No Man's Land and Zero Year, with Batman having to save a city stuck within a chaotic power struggle. One of the villains who are sure to take advantage of this unique situation is Colin Farrell's Penguin, a character who originally worked under Falcone, but now has the opportunity to rise up the criminal underworld. Now, I don't believe the Penguin will be the main antagonist of the sequel. Penguin is typically portrayed as a secondary antagonist, a person Batman goes to gain information, but never truly has a leading villain role. Also, Penguin's rise to power will already be explored in his upcoming HBO Max series, so I don't see the point of having him take the center stage in a film. The Court of Owls. They don't exist. In the original teaser trailer, fans were completely convinced that the Court of Owls existed in the film, just because of one owl on a card. That they were the ones manipulating the Riddler to commit all the crimes seen throughout the film. While it's always great to see fan speculation, it can sometimes lead to disappointment. The Court of Owls make no kind of appearance in the film, and are never even hinted at. The Batman is a story of corruption, but it's not due to a secret cult controlling Gotham. Pattinson has expressed interest in seeing the Court of Owls in a sequel, but as far as right now, it's simply just his personal interest, and not something he and Matt have discussed. In the final battle against the Riddler's goons, Batman gets shot in the chest by a shotgun. This is enough to basically take him out of the fight as he struggles to muster the strength to get up. However, seeing Catwoman being attacked by one of the goons, Batman injects himself with a green liquid, which instantly recharges his strength and allows him to easily overpower the assailant. This green liquid seemingly acts as some kind of super adrenaline that can recharge a person's energy in seconds. But there's also a dangerous side effect, as it appears to increase Batman's aggression. This adrenaline-like substance is very similar to Venom, the muscle-enhancing drug that is typically used by Bane, who would serve as an interesting villain to use for the sequel, especially if you want to challenge Batman in a physical way. Throughout the first film, we see that no criminal poses a physical threat to Batman, especially the Riddler, who is more of an intellectual opponent. But what if you introduce a villain that's not only as cunning as Batman, but is also physically superior in every way? Bane would be a nice change of pace, a villain that can challenge Batman in not only raw skill, but mentally as well. A villain that forces him to push himself past his limits and test his new heroic resolve. Maybe have Batman feel so utterly powerless against Bane that he uses the green adrenaline more often to even the odds. Maybe Batman becomes addicted to the drug and must learn to overcome his physical weakness. With this, you could really explore Batman's ability to endure and beat the odds no matter how hopeless. Matt could take influence from Batman comics, such as Batman Venom, a story that involves Batman's struggles to overcome his physical weakness and his desperate attempt to conquer his addiction to the strength-enhancing drug Venom. Batman vs. Bane would also serve as an influence, as it explores Bane's hatred for Batman at a young age and how he orchestrates a cunning plan to take him out. With Gil Coulson losing his head by the Riddler, Gotham is now in need of a new district attorney, with Mayor Bella Real being a beacon of hope, bravery, and integrity. It's about time the city rids itself of its corrupt regime and replaces them with honest and good-natured politicians. This presents a perfect opportunity to introduce Harvey Dent into the story, a young and ambitious lawyer who serves the law with honor, but also respect. Having him become district attorney would serve as a great way to introduce his character into this universe, seeing how he interacts with other characters like Batman, how he's a new symbol of justice for the city, but also how he might have a darker side to him, a side he desperately tries to hide from the public, a boiling feeling of anger that desperately tries to show itself until it erupts onto the scene. I don't think Harvey should become Two-Face in the second film. We've seen it done before, and honestly, I wish he had more screen time. No, I think Two-Face should be set up in the second film, but only really becomes the villain in the third. Two-Face often acts as the physical representation of Batman's dual nature. I think there's a lot you could explore with their relationship, especially how Batman deals with someone who acts as a mirror to his troubled identity. Two-Face is a fantastic candidate to be used as a villain, but just not in the second film. Now, I know what you're going to say. Joker is a character that's been done over and over and over and over and over and over. You get the idea. Each time having a vastly different approach to the character. How many more ways could you possibly reinterpret him in live action? Now, it's true that we've seen Joker done to death on screen. Maybe it's about time we give someone else the chance for once. No. Personally, I believe you can't have a Batman trilogy without having the Joker appear at some point. The character is Batman's antithesis, a person who revels in the chaotic randomness of life. Joker is Batman's quintessential villain, the character who goes against everything he stands for, and I think it would be a missed opportunity to not include him in the trilogy. It's true that the character has been interpreted in many ways. How could Matt possibly reinvent the wheel? Well, I think he may have figured out how, and it's very unique. Joker's presence in the film has been hinted at for a while now, ever since the first bit of set photos for the film. In the film and in multiple set photos, we see an ad calling attention to a drug called Drops. The ad features the picture of a droplet with a creepy appearance. Its face appears to be melting, a tear slides down its left eye, and the teardrop features a long, narrow smile. We can also see the word Drops featured on other posters, which feature a creepy illustration of a man smiling. In the film, we see Drops as some kind of LSD that is administered like an eye drop. While the film doesn't tell you exactly what it does, we can tell from the set photos that it has some kind of euphoric hallucinogenic effect that makes one feel happier. Who exactly created this euphoric drug? Well, judging from the logo's two primary colors, I think it's safe to say that it's an invention by this world's Joker. Joker makes a physical appearance near the end of the film, and according to Matt Reeves, he's a murderer that Batman caught in his first year of crime fighting. Joker seems to have an almost love-hate relationship with Batman. On one hand, he enjoys his company, even going on to celebrate their reunion.
one of the lines from the scene that's not in is that unseen prisoner says to him, he says, "It's almost our anniversary, isn't it?" And you realize that they have a relationship that exists before that character. Who is the character that you think he is?
But judging from the line, one day you're on top, the next you're a clown, he hates Batman for putting him in Arkham. Joker's appearance looks utterly terrifying. He has most of the features that people come to expect from the character, such as green hair and white skin. But Matt adds a few extra touches that potentially makes this the Joker's most terrifying appearance yet. First of all, his skin appears to be extremely rough. It's as if he suffered from an extreme type of chemical burn. His teeth on the side of his mouth also appears to be exposed. It's as if someone cut into his cheeks and ripped it open, giving him a permanent grin. It's less of Heath Ledger's Joker and more something akin to Two-Face. According to Matt Reeves, his Joker is still in his infancy. He has most of the features, sure, but he's yet to declare himself as the Joker. Currently, what we know about him is that he was born with a congenital disease that forced him to always smile regardless of the situation. This is very similar to what we see in the film The Man Who Laughs, the film that inspired Joker to begin with. According to Reeves, this inability to stop smiling negatively affected his life, causing people to judge him in a certain way. As a result, he views his whole life as a cruel joke, and he strives to get everyone in on it. According to Reeves, Joker is someone who is highly intelligent and can easily get into your head. Barry Keoghan's Joker comes across as incredibly polite and sympathetic. He comforts Riddler and tells him that he did a good job, even going as far as to offer him friendship. But something about his demeanor didn't feel genuine. It seems like he was putting on a friendly act in order to get on Edward's good side. This seems like the type of Joker that seems friendly, but is really a manipulative psychopath who uses others for his own gain. A man that appeals to you, but could honestly care less about who you are or the things you've been through. I think a Joker like this is terrifying. You can never truly tell if he's being genuine about his emotions, because he cares about nothing, only really seeks to cause mindless violence for no rhyme or reason. Individuals like this do exist in our world. They target the vulnerable and weak-willed and make them commit horrible acts of violence with no justification for it. The idea of a Joker who comes across as an ingenuine psycho is something we haven't really seen done on film. This is something we've seen explored in Batman the Animated Series when it comes to Joker and Harley Quinn's relationship, but in terms of films, it hasn't really been explored that well. So I think this is the perfect opportunity for Matt to introduce a Joker we haven't really seen yet. What villain would you like to see in a potential sequel? Leave your thoughts in the comments below.